Aloha folks, it is Mark here. I'm at the studio, which I have dubbed the Action Figuratorium. And if you saw the previous Thrift Store Toy Rescue I did, I talked about this cool rescue helicopter that came out a few years ago under the Sentinel 1 series from True Heroes, which I think is a subset of Chap Mei, or some brand that uses a name that then uses the Chap Mei figures. And it was a really cool looking 1/18 scale helicopter. Well, that toy was found at the Goodwill bins, which is by weight, and it's $1 something a pound. But that wasn't all that we found. There was more. No, if you look behind me here on the desk, you can see that there's this Battleship. This is the True Heroes 358-A Battleship, and this is supposedly in the 1/18 scale. It's a little weak when it comes to that, but I'm going to do a little bit of some close-up action for you guys today on this episode, so stick around. So if you like that intro, good news. At the beginning of next year, there will be a new intro that will be as good as that or better with even more stuff. Just something to look forward to if you've been watching these videos and you're a little bit hooked on this intro, but you want something fresh and new coming up. It's coming up. So back to the thing at hand, which is I'm going to just briefly go through this Battleship in the 1/18 scale for all you guys who are into Joy Toy, or if you're into Acid Rain figures, or if you just are into the old school G.I. Joes. You know, it's always worthy of checking these things out, because these sort of off-brands, you know, Lennar and Chap Mei, they're kind of all over the place. They're pretty inexpensive and they look pretty good. And the thing is like you can customize them and it doesn't matter. No one cares. You can paint them, you can repaint them, you can make your own army out of these things. This is what the original package looked like. This is from figurerealm.com. I want to give credit where credit is due in case people are wondering what are these websites I'm looking at. This is the Battleship that I'm going to go get closer with, and you can see it came with a couple of dudes, and looks like it launched some missiles. None of that stuff, of course, getting it at the Goodwill bins, which is where stuff is just literally in bins, and you throw it in your carton, and at the end you just pile on a scale, and then they charge you. So it's pretty wild, actually. And long before the pandemic, that was a glove and mask kind of experience, and still is. But this is what the dog looked like. So let's go check out the actual thing and see what figures look like compared to it. You guys are going to have a good laugh at this. So it's a ship, as you can see, right? And you know, it's got guns and stuff like that. And you're probably wondering, well, okay, well, where do figures go? Well, you pop this thing, and there's a look in here. There's a little chair, right? So, you know, I've got some generic kind of Desert Storm action figures that we can just use for sort of example of what stuff's going to look like. So that's about how much room you get for your guy to sit in the chair, and he supposedly can look out these windows and you know, blast away with these guns. The guns sort of go up and down like that, and close this, and you get this cool antenna thing on top. There's this gun in front, and it goes up and down. What I love about these is this weird, you know, they had all these stickers printed that said missiles, so they just put them wherever. But I don't think there's any missiles whatsoever. There's a couple little hatches, right? And guys could they could be in the hatches firing. I think guns originally probably were here, but guys there. If we look at the front of this thing, we'll see that it has a little anchor, and the anchor will actually, it's on a little, it's like a key man. So it's a little anchor and, well, and, you know, just has like a little rope ski that you drop down. And it's kind of annoying. I would probably take it off and maybe like remount it over here if I was doing something with this. It does have this wonderful radar. You know, it makes all the kind of sounds you're expecting to hear. What's cool about this is actually it just pops off, right? So if you want to take this thing, you can go mount it on any other piece of equipment that you have. You can use it anywhere. Now on the back of this thing, there's a little pad that something could land on, and of course they give you like an old school drone, and there's a little launcher here that rotates and the drone kind of goes in it like such. And the drone actually has a little spring-loaded thing. I don't really know how that works, but and there's some extra little doodads. These could be anything on here. Inside is you can see there's some kind of like a you know, Hall of Justice sort of exciting computer thing, and you know, of course there could be a fire that breaks out, so they got that. So there's some pegs there, so you can put guys inside this thing and they could stand up, and there's a guy could drive, and you could put some dudes on this. So the overall thing I want to point out is that I'm going to stand a guy up on this, okay? And so you can see that like it's okay as like a play set to sort of frame somebody up, right? Like here, you can't really tell the scale of the ship. You can just kind of tell that he's on a ship, and you know, it's got that sort of like there's some guns and some latches and stuff like that in the background, you know. But when you pull out and look at it, you see this thing is dinky. You know, this is like this thing looks like it's massive on here, but the rest of the ship is pretty tiny. So it's kind of unconvincing in some ways. It's just not the big, huge battle cruiser that you think it is. But you know, this was probably a Toys R Us exclusive, I'm willing to guess, and the helicopter is 50 bucks. So I bet you this thing probably came out to $50. I'm sure they loaded it up with enough, you know, missiles and a couple action figures and stuff to where it felt like you're getting a $50 deal. It does have wheels, and the wheel in front has actually got this wobble so that it looks like it's going up and down in the water when you drive it, which I think is kind of fun. I think kids would dig that. This would have been a cool playset for me and my friends when I was a little kid. As it is now, it's just a cool thing to pick up at a Goodwill and then, you know, maybe do some kooky sort of G.I. Joe action figure shots on it here or there. Again, these are really kind of cool if you're looking for something to customize and mod for your really nice high-end toys. This could be like a cool looking piece to just put some frogmen on and that kind of stuff, some sailor dudes, whatever. They're always welcome here. It's possible that maybe you could bash this into some kind of a science fiction ship, kind of a spaceship or something like that. This top piece is real sort of leaning that way, but you know, you get what you can with this stuff is what I say. If you can make something out of it, make something out of it. That concludes this thrift store toy rescue of a True Heroes Battleship that we rescued from the depths of the Goodwill bins. If it had been there for another 10-15 minutes, it would have gotten pushed away, and I swear to God, it would have been thrown in the trash, people. If we had not grabbed it and paid the $6-7 bucks, this thing would be landfill city. With that, I am going to bid everybody adieu. I hope to catch everybody on the next one.